10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Let's get ready to sucker!
Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of sun. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of crime. Pockets running over with the dollar signs. Try to take it from me. Big time. I got a lot of shine. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of grind. Try and take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of shine. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of crime. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try and take it from me, from me, from me, from me, from me. Big time, number 9. Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of grind. Try and take it from me, must be out your mind.
And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is on location. I got another feedback. You guys got that too? Oh, goodness. All right, we'll try to get by this. Welcome to Cheney High School, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Yoakley, Billy Mack, Quint Pushkar with you. On the other side, we got, it looks like Paul and EB. Gentlemen, how are we?
Doing good.
Same. Smoking meat.
Not the first time you've ever probably said that.
Nope. Won't be the last either.
What are you smoking today? I didn't see the picture.
I got a pork loin. Dude, it's like a 2 foot long, I don't know, 15-pound pork loin. Had to cut it in half and been on there since what? 9:30, 10. We'll see where she's at here in the next couple hours.
That a boy. That's dinner tonight, or does that go all the way to tomorrow?
Well, dude, that's dinner tonight, tomorrow, and probably even Saturday.
That a boy. All right. It is National Dog Day, ladies and gentlemen. So we want to know, who's your favorite pup? It could be real. It could be your dog. It could be somebody else's dog. Who's your favorite pup, Billy? The one that always. What's wrong with your microphone?
Well, I turned it off because of the echo. But I mean, it's mine. They're both mine. Ralph and Callie, and also Trey, the 3 amigos, amigoette. I don't know how you put that, but yeah, the three dogs at the house over in Portland. So
the one that's always snoring.
That would be Ralph. Ralph is the one that gets famous on the Power Hour because he's always snoring at my feet. Yes.
Q, how about you?
Yeah, it's gonna be my dog too. Rascal. He's a word that rhymes with his name.
Come here, you little rascal.
Yeah, I call him asshole. So.
That doesn't exactly rhyme.
Way to start the show today.
Well, there we go. EB, how about you? Favorite pup?
My dog Tyson. Had him since he's been 10 weeks old. So he's kicking away at 13 now. So pretty much his whole life has been majority of my adult life. So that's the go-to dog.
Paulie?
Oh yeah, easily mine. Jackson. There he is. Sleeping on the floor in the sun, baking. He's 14 now, so yeah. He's been a lifer with us. He's can't hear half the time now, likes to bark at squirrels and a leaf that goes across the driveway. And yeah, he definitely, even though his name's Jackson, he rhymes with Quinn's dog's name too. So for sure.
Oh man, what kind of dog is Jackson?
He's a mix between a beagle and some kind of terrier, but whatever. He was a mutt.
I like it. All right, mine. My dog's Boomer. We have two dogs. There's Boomer and Toby rhymes with Quinn's dog's name. But Boomer is my go-to. We picked Boomer up from Angels for Animals. Man, it would have been 11 years ago. So yeah, Boomer's my go-to. Dude won't leave my side whenever I'm home. Even when I'm in the bathroom, he'll like lay outside the bathroom door, like and wait for me to be done. So,
is that the runner?
No, that's Toby. That's your
okay.
buddy.
Yeah,
that's the one that saw you coming from a mile away.
Sure did. This dickhead's going for the front door. Watch this.
Hey, tweaker, we can't hear. There we go. Brian's on the ones and twos again and just messing around with stuff. So if we can't hear you or our voice changes, it's because he's messing with the output and the input. So it's time for the Baird Brothers. Would you rather? So guys, we look around here and there's a lot of grass. It's been a minute since I've been on a grass football field. So my question to you is, would you rather play on natural grass or synthetic turf on any sport you play on?
Clark, you should probably mute the mic. Clark, 12 months in, over there banging, clanging.
He's changing locations.
I just turned the lights off. Shut the door. Calm down, Billy.
All right.
Mean little leprechaun.
Would you rather, brought to you by Baird Brothers, would you rather play on natural grass or synthetic turf?
Grass, all day grass. I think I've only ever played on one turf field, so I'm not really sure how that plays out for me. I think my is on grass, not turf. So yeah, and in the mud, a lot faster in the mud and really wet.
Oh, mute yourself.
I'm not doing anything.
Who is that? Quinn's. All right, go. Quinn, turf or grass? This is shit show.
Well, I played on grass once, and Devion left my imprint on the floor, so I'm going to go grass. I'm still laying in Howland, so grass. Basketball, so I don't do turf and grass.
EB.
Grass. That's all I ever played on before the big turf, fad took over the past couple of years. Dude, there's nothing like playing. Paul, what the hell's going on in your room, dude? That's wild. But definitely grass.
It's the most sensitive microphone in the world.
I don't know what to do here. This is ridiculous. Paul, you have single-handedly sidetracked us from the jump.
Again, the complaints are always about the microphone here, and like she literally was in the back of the room trying to blow her nose, and I'm like, yeah, you'll be all right back there. Just go ahead. And everybody's going nuts.
Because we
Most
can
of the
hear
time,
you.
most of the time, now you guys could probably hear a mouse fart over here.
This show's over. Can we just go to prime time? Can we just go to prime time? This is ridiculous. Paul, turf or grass?
I never had the chance to play on turf, but I mean, even if I did, I think it would definitely be grass.
You would take. What was that?
That was just me rubbing on the.
Yep. Good job. All right. I would take turf. I like the new style of turf that everybody has. Palestine has some real nice turf nowadays. I ran on it the other day and it was fluffy, like it's very springy. Something that like everybody talks about grass being springy, and I've never had grass like rise up to me on the way. You know what I mean?
I just find it that like when you're, I've never been in this position. I've been the hit E, not the guy that's getting trucked, the truck stick button like Quinn got. But when you get hit on grass, it's a little bit softer of a blow than on turf because essentially you're falling on cement with a little bit of rubber on it.
I can get behind that. I guess I was always on defense. You know what I mean? So it was always like you said, you're always the guy tackling on top usually. That's an interesting point. I think you're faster on turf, don't you think?
Not me.
Definitely not me.
I think it evens out a little bit more, like when the elements are coming down, the rain, that makes it faster.
EB, are they ever going to change that grass to turf over Columbiana, or is that always going to stay?
I think it'll always stay grass. I don't think even though they just gave the rights to the school to do something like that, I'm pretty sure you still have to get permission from the Firestone family because they own the rights to the park. I don't see Columbiana ever going to turf. Now I say that, and probably in the next 5 years they'll jump on the turf bandwagon because they're supposed to start redoing that stadium. But I don't see it happening with how much they've done to that field, especially being a public field, and it has actually a really good crown and they do take good care of it. That's probably one of the reasons why I'll always prefer playing on grass. I mean, just there's nothing like it.
Would you want to see the red turf in Columbiana? Everybody talks about blue turf with these blue schools. Would you want to see red turf or gray turf in Columbiana, something like that?
I mean, I think it'd be awesome, and I'm sure something like that would get kids and everyone excited. But if you would ever do that, they would have to do it out at the school. Like that's the only way that would ever fly. There's too many. Columbiana has too many traditionalists and older generation where they'd walk through the park and they go, "What the hell is all this red turf for? You guys are stupid. I hate your generation. Somehow it's the millennials' fault." But I think it'd be sweet if it happens. It'd have to happen out at the school, though.
One of the issues you brought up was like the maintenance part. I've noticed with a lot of schools, it really cuts your maintenance costs down. So I guess if it all depends on how much you're spending on your maintenance. If you're taking care of it really well and spending a lot of money, it might be feasible to go ahead and do turf, and you don't have to cut it every 2 days and reline it every day. Those are the things.
And fertilize it, all that stuff. I mean, all you got to do to the turf is run the big brush on it, and it lasts you 10 years.
I mean, I guess it would come down to whatever the cost is when you have to replace it every 10 years. So, you'd have to factor all that stuff out.
Paul, not as you played on the new stuff, at least in organized sports, I'm sure you've had a chance to walk on it, maybe run. I know you ran on it. You ran a 40 on it and then didn't tape it. I remember that.
And we've practiced baseball on there before too. So we've been out there on that turf.
Yeah. Do you prefer the old Raider Stadium with the grass, or do you like? I mean, I guess not the stadium, but the turf actually. Is it? I don't know. Do you have a preference between just those two iconic battlegrounds?
I mean, the aesthetics of how nice it looks, the new turf is a lot better. I mean, the burgundy stays burgundy. The lines look great. It looks awesome. You got your logo out there. Everything's perfect. But that grass stadium that they had in North Lima, when it was cut properly and they had everything done to it, it was one of the best grass fields in the area. And people loved coming there to play. And the way the stadium was up above the field and had like just the field set down, you could sit on the hillside. I mean, it was iconic. I mean, people liked coming there, but the way that the world goes is, the turf's out there now. And now you can, like Billy said, you can save money with that. You take that maintenance money, you put it aside, and I mean, the nice stuff, and it stays nice and it looks nice and you don't have to do a lot to it. I don't know. I'm still a grass guy. I mean, we've played on turf baseball fields too. Like when we go down to Myrtle Beach and you're down there, all the Ripken stuff, it's all turf. And I don't like that because that's not a natural bounce that you get off of turf. And grass gives you that real, it's what grass is supposed to do. So
I'll argue a little bit there. Like when you talk about a natural bounce, think of the Major League Baseball stadiums, some of these college stadiums that are all natural grass and dirt. You get a smooth transition of like bounces from the baseball. So, I mean, if you're playing at like Newton Falls Park, there's going to be a whole bunch of rocks in there. So if you want to call that a natural bounce because of that's a
Newton Falls bounce.
That's a Newton Falls bounce. Very similar to we have like the seam hop at third base that everybody talks about. But I've actually played at the old YSU stadium, the Astro turf. That was the only turf field I ever played at. And it was like some spots, it felt like a trampoline, and other spots, it was just all concrete, just spray painted green.
I can't even begin to imagine. I mean, we were on YSU's turf last week this time, and I thought they did a really, really good job. But they had to put down two different pieces of turf, Quinn. That it was the wrong color.
Yeah, it was the wrong color. I think it's two different pieces, and it's like seamed together and stuff. Like it's a disastrous process that they had to go through to get it fixed and stuff. But it looks incredible now.
It looks really good. The first one looked like a watermelon, didn't it?
It was something like that, yeah, and it had different colors, like green. And it was like different shades of green or something like that. Yeah,
that's actually like the second time they've had to do it. When I was there in the early 2000s, like 2001, 2002 is when they put the first turf in with all the pellets and everything, because they took up, like Billy said, that old concrete that they had there. I mean, that stuff was thin as paper, but yeah, they took it out and they put that new stuff in, and it was great. And you take care of it right. Look, it lasted them 15, 20 years. So
is that that's the second one or third one? I seem to remember there being another one.
Third.
I was gonna say third, yeah. So I mean, that's but listen, when you're showcasing your university, you got to keep things fresh. I wish I like Pete at the 50-yard line, but I really wish they'd have the block Y. Like, really wish they'd put the block Y at the 50. It's my favorite logo for natural reasons. We are going to keep talking about, obviously, some of the turf versus grass stuff, baseball especially. I mean, guys, you look at the major leagues right now, people are replacing grass with turf and turf with grass, and they just don't know which way to. Oh, Brian just broke the chair. He gone. He's sunk in the ground. He almost went man down. Anything happens here on the Power Hour. You know how this goes. So, Billy, I really wanted you on the show yesterday because I had just a crazy question for you. Can we get a Padre update real quick?
Yeah, we're like 2.5 games out of the playoffs right now. And my guys just can't seem to figure it out. They played 16 innings last night in a loss. And Tatis had a 2-run home run.
Addie and Bernie, will you come to the school office, please? Thank you.
I can't determine when they're going to hop on this loudspeaker and look for somebody.
So the Padres are in some trouble. But I do think that they will overtake the Reds in the second wild card spot eventually. 32 games left to go. but they're going to lose to the Dodgers in the wild card.
There's part of you that's real nervous right now. They don't make the playoffs because you know what's waiting for you. The Pirate train.
Man, I just like, you can talk about the money, and there's a lot of money that was being spent around. I was talking to Jeff about it yesterday because he wanted to come at me a little bit because I've been making fun of the the Yankees or whatnot. But I think with the problem, the good thing about this is they spent so much money long term wise that this isn't a 1-year deal. So whether or not, like, if the Padres go and they don't make the playoffs, it's not like, oh, it's a fire sale and everybody's gone. Like, they're going to be back next year.
And if this happens next year, then the fire sale begins.
Then you can start to say the fire sale. Now, guys like Machado and guys like Tatis aren't going anywhere. Those are big long-term deals. But you could see guys like, Darvish and Snell. Those guys are gone.
Frazier.
Frazier's on one. I think he's only got. Well, he's got 2 years left.
2 years left.
So he'll be around too.
Unbelievable. I saw that in the standings yesterday. I said, I can't wait till Billy Mack comes on the show. And
they've lost 8 out of their last 10, and a lot of it is just bullpen. Bullpen stinks. Like they look similar to the Yankees when it comes to their pitch. Pretty good starting pitching. Been banged up all year for the most part. Not an excuse. This year they couldn't hit themselves. That was the big issue this year.
I'm not going to say a word about the Yankees. They've taken 3, I think, from Atlanta. So
wasn't that the only time since 1901 or something like that the two teams with a 9-game winning streak met head to head?
Yeah.
And now here the Yankees are at 12-game winning streak because of their 3 games over the Braves. I'm sitting here just hoping my team doesn't lose 100 games.
I still don't think that's going to happen.
I'm nervous, man.
It's going to come down to the wire.
It's going to be the last week.
I don't think it's going to happen.
So if they lose 100 games, I owe Sigler a customized Pirates jersey. Just letting you know that. I don't know if he remembers it, but he will now.
Do you get to customize it, or does he?
I get to. It's gonna have Sigler. I'm not gonna put anything horrific on the back.
Terrible Pirates fan.
It's coming from Hong Kong. It's coming from Hong Kong. We'll be lucky if they spell Sigler right on the back of that uniform.
On your little tablet.
Gisler. That's what it's gonna be. Gisler. I don't know, man. Like, Paul, are you feeling good about the Braves' chances? Like, they were hot. Now they're ice.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. I mean, I don't know what the problem was at their little struggle with New York, but I mean, they're going to go up against the Giants. They have a series with the Giants starting tonight. I think they'll be just fine. And they've extended over the Mets pretty well. So, as a matter of fact, I take it back. They don't start with the Giants tonight. They start a weekend series with them. So they'll be fine. Like I said, and they got hot, and the Mets just took a shit, and down they went, and Atlanta shot right up into that NL East and, took the lead. And I mean, I thought they were going to at least make the playoffs for sure. But I mean, now, hell, they can win their division. That would be nice. And they're doing all this without their superstar, or at least one of their superstars. I mean, they still got a bunch on their team, Freeman and a handful of guys, but,
They're superstars, no doubt about that. Freeman's is a star, not a superstar. Acuna Jr. is the superstar. But like the Giants, though, the Giants came out of nowhere this year and have just played good baseball all year. Kind of like a Tampa Bay type of season where they've just been under the radar, playing good baseball, beating good teams, winning 3-1, winning 3-2. And who the hell knew?
I can't help but love the Giants. I really
much respect to them. I just get out of our way.
The colors. The stadium. I mean, I love San Francisco. I think it's a beautiful area. If you ever have a chance to go out there, definitely do so. A little odd out there. Anything in California is going to be odd, but it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place to be. So,
yeah. I mean, the Yankees are still 4.5 back in their division too, though.
Are they really?
Yeah, Tampa Bay's got a 4.5 game lead on them.
That's what I mean. Like Tampa Bay, San Francisco, 2 teams that are just under the radar, just head down, just playing good baseball, and kudos to them.
It still feels like baseball season right now. You know what I mean? With the heat, but like you said, we're gonna go from week 1 to week 10 here real quick, and we're not talking about legitimate week 1 to 10. We're talking about temps because we feel like we're putting up this tent today. I gotta tell you, you guys are extremely lucky because we're out here sweating. And secondly, how is the tent broken already? We have no idea. The tent's broken already. I don't know. We got to talk to somebody about that.
We're gonna Beto did that.
We're gonna blame Betos.
Yes.
He
Who's
wasn't
the
even
last
up.
one to put it away? And you're only one game out of the wild card, Billy, just so you know.
No, I thought we were 2.5.
That's not bad.
The Dodgers got an 11 and a half game lead over Cincinnati for the first wild card. So Dodgers pretty much got that locked up.
Nothing's changed my mind this year to say the Dodgers are going to win it again.
Are you gonna jump ship though on the Padres if they end up like this next year?
No, I'm a Padres fan. Loyalty, baby.
Oh, the captain of loyalty over here to my right.
Tatis is a bona fide super duper star.
The Padres are 15 games out of first in their own division.
Yeah. Like the Giants are just like beating everybody. They're the big bully on the block this year.
They can't beat the Pirates. That's the best part about all of it.
Well, we need the Pirates to keep playing them there.
Yeah.
I had to root against the Pirates just so the Giants would win, and that way they kept separation from the Padres. Because I was like, my hatred for Billy liking the Padres outweighs my fandom for the Pittsburgh Pirates at this point.
That's crazy. That's so crazy.
And just think the Pirates, they're not the worst.
No. So we're this bad, and we don't even get the first.
The Rangers are the worst, right?
No.
Orioles?
No, it is the Orioles. Yeah, they have only 39 wins, but they're not the worst in their division. It's Arizona. Arizona's 40 games back in first.
That's right, and they keep beating the Pirates. So we could be the Giants, but not the Pirates.
I thought Bumgarner was going to get traded before the deadline. I thought he was a guy that somebody was going to pick up from the.
I thought so too. I thought it was going to be. I thought there was going to be a lot of moves. You know, with the Diamondbacks, Marte was really the only one.
But I know he picked there. Like he could have went to other places, Bumgarner, but he wanted to go to Arizona. I think it's because his ranch is in Arizona.
Oh, really?
Or maybe on that side of Texas, the west side.
Is Arizona one of those states that has like tax breaks? Do you know, EB?
I'm not sure. Florida doesn't have any state tax. I'm not sure if Arizona has any or not.
I feel like it should be. You know what I mean? Like that's another retiree place.
Yeah, I mean, naturally I want to say yeah, because generally if you don't go to Florida, you go to like Phoenix.
Right.
Other than if you're going to Arizona, what is it, Arizona State or whatever's in Tempe. I mean, yeah.
Arizona. We are going to take a break. When we come back, we want to talk a little bit about, we're going to talk about, this should be week 1 tonight. Should be week 1 of the football season. And here we are, week 2, knocking on the door tomorrow night. We've got a ton of games tomorrow for you. And then some games on Saturday as well. So we're going to take a break. When we come back on the YSN Power Hour, more, including the Joe Dickey Electric, What is Your Spark? Back after this on the Power Hour.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Hi, this is Jim Myers with Myers Family Insurance, your local Medicare and retirement resource. We're excited to have sports back. Whether you're on the field or cheering from the stands, sports unifies communities and brings hope for the future. We're all one team working together. At Myers Family Insurance, we know the importance of a great team.
Our team continues to grow to help you with your Medicare and retirement needs.
The annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to make sure your plan continues to meet your needs for the upcoming year.
Call today.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the YSN Power Hour. Billy's talking about going back to broadcasting school and working at a radio station.
What radio stations?
A Youngstown conglomerate.
Here we go. And Arizona does have state income tax.
So why do people go there? It's just hot as hell.
Yeah, there's 9 states that don't.
Ohio's not one of them.
No. Obviously, we all know Florida's the big one. Texas is another one. Nevada. That's why Vegas is getting huge.
Yeah.
Alaska, Tennessee, Wyoming, South Dakota. Who the hell's going there?
The state tax.
During the break, hey guys, turn your microphones on. You don't have to turn them off. Billy leaves his microphone on. I got it.
I went to broadcast school.
He got a certificate. That's what he got. And now he works at a Youngstown conglomerate.
I just printed it out, put my name on it.
He's got a teddy bear in the corner. Guys, this is supposed to be week 1, right? We're already through week 1. We all took a deep sigh of relief, so to speak. But this is where week 1 usually starts every year. The heat's still high, not quite as high, I don't think, as it was last week. A little bit muggier, but like, do you miss the week that we already have had? Like, do you miss this being the week? I don't even know how to ask the question. Do you prefer it being this week rather than a week before? That's the way it is. That's how you learn broadcast week, right there.
On the fly.
Paul, go ahead.
Yeah, because I wish it would start. I mean, back how it was. I mean, because this week is still earlier than it normally has. Because normally week 1, I always remember for football, the coaches would always tell you, don't get caught at the fair walking around, getting yourself tired and worn out before the game on Friday, telling you that don't go to the fair on Thursday. So you got to really, really think about, like, realistically, next week would almost how it used to be was week 1. And I mean, some schools are not going to start school until after Labor Day, and they're going to be almost 3 games into their season. So, I mean, it's crazy that it's getting bumped up just because, you know, they expanded the playoffs. They need that extra week for the playoffs. And I mean, I think it just screws things up a little bit. I mean, because these kids are out there and they are 2 days during the summertime is normal stuff. You're supposed to have those. But now all of a sudden your games are starting and it's 80, 90 degrees out. I mean, it's going to be hot again tomorrow too. So, I mean, I don't like it. I wish they'd actually push it back a little further, but, you know, God forbid you take money out of the OHSAA's hands. And
I feel like we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I feel like I said, here we go. I think that, you know, Paul, when you look at the situation, it's interesting to me because we want to take care of the players, right? But we also want to make sure that there's 16 weeks in the play, or 16 weeks total this year. Does anybody remember back when we were puppies and there was like the heat index and all that stuff, and you couldn't practice, and if you practiced, you had to have 30 water breaks, which is good, but like it's harder to do that in a game. You know, you're seeing that last week with the cramps and things of that nature. I didn't see very many official timeouts for water breaks during my games. I might be in the minority here, but I think that's kind of like slid under the radar a little bit. I mean,
I had three of them.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, and I remember, Corey Stringer.
Yes.
So just happened. Graduate of Warren Harding, and the heat index, and he passed away during a football event, and it trickled down real fast because I think I was a junior or senior in high school, and it was a big priority. And I remember our coaching staff saying, every hour on the hour, you have a 10-minute break, and you cannot be refused water. So this was like before the Paul Munson salt tablet days, where called it a day. But we were forced. It didn't matter. Like you had to go whether you wanted to or not. And on tour days, we had a chart of like weight. So you had to weigh in, weigh out of your first practice, and coaches would look at that. And if you lost so much weight during that practice, you had to gain it back with water consumption. And we were forced to eat a watermelon on each table, and there was like 6 of us, and we all had to eat that watermelon before we went back out. It was mandated. There was all kinds of ways. And yeah, I think like even like last year, I don't remember having too many games where referees would stop. I mean, Richie and I did the LeBray Lakeview game, and they stopped the game 3 times just for a water break.
That's good. That's good. You want to see that, especially with the temperatures being what they were. Quinn, what do you think? I mean, basketball, you're running 3-5 miles a night in a basketball game, and there's no mandated water breaks in that. It's controlled. Usually, it's a controlled environment, but if you've been to any gym in the last week, I feel like it's harder in there than it is outside.
Yeah, I mean, the heat index thing doesn't really. I mean, I guess it could apply, but I don't think it applies totally to basketball because most gyms are air conditioned and it's winter, so it's not necessarily hot. You just kind of open up a door.
Plus, all they do is sit in the zone.
Yeah, but it like you're not under 30 pounds of equipment, and like it doesn't affect you as much in basketball, I guess, as it would in football.
EB, your thoughts?
I mean, football, when it's this hot, you almost need to treat it like it's a media game and have like official timeouts every 4 minutes just for water. You think last week and then obviously Friday, it's going to be hella hot, and you throw in the humidity pads, helmets, everything else. So you almost need to treat it like it's a TV game, to where, every whatever the dead ball is at the 12-minute marker, the 8-minute marker, whatever it is, make it an official timeout for a minute water break. I think that would just help. I'm curious to see what it's going to be like tomorrow when me and Hop are up at McDonald, if they do anything like that. But when it's this hot and you're all about player safety, like you got to get these kids water. And I know like at halftime, DJ, I don't know when you guys played, but like we always had oranges and bananas and anything just to get the potassium and the electrolytes back in our bodies, especially earlier in the season when it's this warm. You almost have to, because as a good old OHSAA wants to move these weeks up, you're still flirting with the dog days of August, because if you start a week later, maybe you get one game where it's super hot like it would be this week, but then it kind of tailors down into where it's, the 50s or 60s, and then gets a little more into football weather. I just think if you're going to do something like this, you definitely need to have, mandated timeouts or stoppage of play, just so you can get a water break for some of these kids.
I'm just jealous you got orange slices at halftime.
Oh, yeah, we got orange slices.
No, not the candy. You got real orange slices.
Yeah, bananas. Generally, we had a bunch of different type of fruit in there, but if you think about it, for a lot of schools that we cover too, a lot of these kids are playing 2 ways. So it's not like they're really getting much of a break. That's why you're seeing a bunch of cramps and kids just going down. So giving them a break here and there wouldn't be too bad for them.
It's so common though early in the year where these kids are getting cramps, and a lot of times being in school, and Paul can agree to this. When you're in school, your coaches are mostly teachers, and they're at least an assistant or two is in there, and you're saying, hey, stay hydrated, get a Gatorade in. You get a Gatorade Wednesday and Thursday, preparing yourself and your body for the game that's on Friday. Not being in school, you have that opportunity to say, hey, make sure you're hydrating yourself and treating your body good.
Well, let's be real too. Like these kids don't exactly eat the best outside of sport. They're like, oh shit, man, we're done with football. Let's go to Chick-fil-A or Chipotle and we'll go hit up wing night. So it's not like they're outside of probably their team dinners, it's not like they're fueling their bodies a week through or like prepping for it to where they're getting adequate nutrients either.
Yeah, it's interesting. The other thing I wanted to bring up to you guys, bless you. He just sneezed all over Quinn. COVID. It's one of the
mic off.
You did turn the mic off. That's his good cage jacket, Billy.
Yeah. I seen it in the soccer game I did on Monday. Was they did the referees stopped it in the first half. They had a stoppage for water and let the kids go get some water, and then they did it again in the second half, stoppage for the kids to get some water. So I mean, they're conscious of it, which is nice to see. But the kids around school, like what Billy said, they're constantly, and it's a lot of the football players and stuff. They've got a jug, a full gallon of water. And their goal is to finish that water by the end of the day. So they're constantly, you see half a dozen of the kids walking around with a big jug of water, carrying it through school. So
that brings me up to the next point, the trainers, right? Most of these schools have trainers, some of them don't. And I was having a conversation earlier this week with somebody on a coaching staff, and they said, when a kid goes down with cramps, we can do what we can, get them off the field, put them on the sideline, but I've got a job to do, right? I've got to coach the game or coach the offense or coach the defense. Should trainers be mandatory now in high schools, and especially with what we're dealing with COVID and the I mean, shouldn't there be a medical professional on the sidelines that's not exactly and nothing against ambulance, but
I believe they do on Friday nights, or that used to be.
They should. I mean, most high schools do have some kind of athletic person there. At least, I mean, if they can afford it, I mean, that's the bad thing. But I mean, a lot of schools complain more that it's always, there's always a trainer at football and at basketball, but they're not there for other sports. So, I mean, I always thought that every school's got at least somebody on the sidelines for football.
I don't know. That's not the case. I can tell you that with conviction, that's not the case. And here's the other thing is the first time I was ever met up with a trainer, I didn't know what to do. Like, they ice your arm. They, if you have a cut, they'll tape you up, all that stuff. Like there's people who are graduating, nowadays, and this is 18 years after I graduated, that have never had a trainer in their life. It's just you kind of either your coach takes care of it, you take care of it. Should the state mandate one way or the other, either fund for every school or essentially say, hey, you have to have medical staff on your sideline?
Yeah, I laugh at that because you say, should the state give the money to the schools for that? The states turn around half the time and taking money from the schools. That's the biggest complaint is the schools are going to say, we can't afford that. And it's a shame that they say that because you're talking about the health and safety of your student athletes. So, you should be able to have that. But if you are a school that maybe has low income and you can't afford to have somebody like that, or, we've got Youngstown State, we've got Kent State that are right there. Like, maybe have one of those trainers coming down as an internship and they're there helping out. Like, that's nice to have. But if you don't have those abilities, then you're kind of stuck. You are looking at your coaches. I mean, I remember coaches where, they taped their ankles and they took care of things like that. There was somebody there, but it was mostly a student who was going into that kind of stuff that would help you do some of that taping your ankles or an arm or a wrist or your hand. But I mean, taking care of that, you'd have always team doctor, but a trainer that costs money. And if a school doesn't have that money, then you're kind of, SOL.
So let me ask you this standpoint. When you're arrested, you are, handcuffed and you're read your rights, Miranda rights. At the end of that, it's, if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you. Don't you think the same thing should be to schools? And listen, if you cannot afford a trainer, one will be appointed to you. So that way your kids are safe. Like, listen, our kids that are doing well and staying off the streets, to me, and I hope nobody's out there taking offense to this, are way more important than some of these scumbags that are being locked up every day for things they shouldn't do. And then they're given a court-appointed lawyer that we pay for. I would much rather see the state pay for trainers and keep our kids safe and pay professionals to be on the sidelines for something they love to do, which is protecting our athletes. That's something, I mean, that's an easy easy, stamp it. If you're a judge or if you're, Mr. Rowley or Tim Ryan or anybody like that, like that's what needs to be done, because it's only going to take one of these, and it's going to be bad. It's going to be a court case. It's against a school, against the state, against the OHSAA. I mean, there's things the OHSAA can do to mandate this.
A prime example, DJ, to hit on exactly what you're talking about, and only because I know it from some experience. Brandon Youngs, soccer player, was here at South Range playing Ursuline, broke his leg. I mean, shattered his leg. He was running to kick a ball, ran into the goalie. No trainer there. You literally, for where they play soccer at, which is right there at Youngstown State, you can see the hospital. He laid on the turf for over 20 minutes for them to get an ambulance there because there was no trainer, nobody there to help take care of him. He had to lay there until an ambulance showed up. So, I mean, I agree with you, but I mean, the bad thing is you're going to have to start a petition or get a hold of some of our representatives and say, hey, let's get this going. Like, why don't these schools at least have one person there for these events? And it doesn't just have to always be football. Let it be volleyball. Let it be basketball. There should be one person assigned to the school to say, you are there to represent the medical field and take care of these kids when they need it.
So three things. I mean, first of all, does every school not have a school nurse? So why not start to put it in their contract that they need to go to this sporting event to be a medical personnel there?
You have to pay them more. You have to pay them more.
Well, whether would you not rather pay a school employee? I mean, no matter which way you flip it, it sounds like you're going to be paying someone. So like at Salem, being part of the EBC, our rules are, the league rules is the home team has to provide a trainer. So no matter what, there's a trainer there. I mean, that's just our league rules. Not all the leagues are like that, but you can always go get around it and say, okay, yeah, you're going to have to pay this nurse, but at least it's already a school employee. The home team always provides it. Maybe it's part of the league cost and it comes out of the league cost that way. It's not like there's people that couldn't do it when you have schools who provide people to, take care of your children already. And I mean, hell, man, every other day you have a freaking medical center popping up throughout this area or literally everywhere. I mean, Salem Regional Medical is going to build one in Columbiana. They have their hospital right there in Salem, which covers the majority of the area. You have Liverpool, you have Boardman, you have Youngstown, you have Bourne. I mean, so these schools somehow, some way should be able to team up with them and be like, yeah, like someone said, an intern or, one of your LPNs or, this is going to be part of their shift or something like that. It just goes a long ways. I also know, someone said student trainers. Crestview does a fantastic job with this. And also Columbiana started doing it to where they get student trainers and they actually send them to like a week or 2 week long course just for all kinds of stuff like this. Now, granted, they also generally have a doctor or someone on the sidelines, but, also with them, it allows them, they know how to take care of the cramps, the blisters, taping the ankles and all that minor stuff. But it seems like there's a bunch of avenues or to where you can provide someone. People just kind of they want to cut the cost, but essentially what's going to happen is something drastic is really going to have to happen for something to change.
So, I mean, I went to a small school and we always, for football, we always had a trainer on our hitting days. So Tuesday, Wednesday, we always had a trainer there. And he always had like interns with them. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times they would come on Monday and Thursday or walkthrough days and kind of be around by themselves to gain some time. I'm not really sure the logistics of it or whatnot, but I guess the short answer would be yes, it should be mandated. How to go about that, I don't know. Nobody's kind of figured that out just yet. But it should be imperative to have some of these guys because kids are getting hurt every day out here in every sport that the high schools are at. And it'd probably be a good idea, maybe even insurance reasons why they should have it.
Yeah, I mean, you just think of a couple examples. A kid goes down on a tackle wrong, and they don't know. Remember, some of these kids are 14, 15 years old at some stages. They go down. They don't know that if you're down there, you're just supposed to lay. Like if you hurt your back, you hurt your neck, you're just supposed to lay there.
the other thing too is if you look at the numbers of injuries, and Coach Seidel, if he was here, he'd actually agree with this. Is there's more injuries in soccer than there is in football,
and more in basketball than there are in any sport.
right?
Yeah.
So, we look at football as a violent game. It is. There's violent tendencies, but and they should be at football events, but they should be everywhere.
It's controlled chaos. That's what it is. I mean, it's like watching a car wreck for 2 hours at a time. But most people are willing to take care of each other. You saw that Justin Fields hit the other night. That wasn't pretty.
And that was not good.
That was not pretty at all. You don't want to see much of that. So if you're out there and you're interested in I don't know, maybe we lead the charge on this, Paul. You said make a petition. You said do all that stuff. Hey, I'm willing to. I mean,
I'll be a trainer. Put some dirt on it, kid. Get out there.
And that's why that's exactly why we can't have nice things.
Oh, dude. Could you imagine, B-Mac?
Right now,
I'm feeling so dehydrated. Take a salt tablet. You're fine. Just
5 p.m. we will have YSN Primetime Live. We'll have Coach Emil swing by about 15 minutes into the show. We'll get some players. We'll have update on Jason Hewlett, who is out for the entire year. I talked to Coach before, and he's not going to play basketball. He might run track, but it's a tough break for him. He was getting a lot of looks, offers all over the place from the Big Ten, Cincinnati. Ohio State was really looking into him, said that, basically if he had a good year, good things were going to happen. So it's an unfortunate thing. We're going to go into that a lot more in depth at 5 o'clock. Steve will be here. Todd will be here. Donnie Riccatelli will also be here. And we'll have a visit from Mike Ackelson via the satellite. I always wanted to say that. But that will lead us, I think, does it say 51? It does. All right. Let's, Brian, do you see the thing at the bottom with the Joe Dickey Electric, like underneath the commercials? Brian's the newbie here. We're teaching him StreamYard.
The wizard knows it all.
He does. It's under the. You want to go do it, Quinn, real quick? Big contributor.
I would laugh right now. Quinn gets up and then all of a sudden Brian just hits it.
He'll be so mad. He'll be so mad. A wasted stand-up. How about this weather?
Now it's good.
The drama
It's
builds.
breezy.
Electric. What's your spark? It's up higher. It's up higher. There it is. There it is right there.
If you build it, they will come.
Oh, that was the most anticipation around a Stinger graphic I've ever seen in my life. It is the Joe Dickey Electric. When we're on remote, anything goes, right? This is like savage beast bare knuckle fighting here. It's Joe Dickey Electric. What's your spark? What's your positive spark? Or do you have a negative spark today? EB, lead us off.
positive spark, man. Being able to work from home today, get to smoke some meat. Not the first time I've said it, not the last time. And dude, I love when we have people remote because it's just awesome. Like, it's complete chaos. You don't know what's going to happen. I'm literally waiting for like Betos to come out and RKO Billy through the table or some crazy shit like that. Or I want like CM Punk music and people to go nuts. Like, I like when we're remote. It just keeps it fun. It makes it entertaining. And I don't see any other network doing it.
That's right, buddy. Let's go, Paul.
Mine's a positive spark today. I was able to get back in my room. So snack sales will resume when we come back to school. So I'm in my room every period except for first period. So I'm good. I'm back in the classroom. I actually did get to sell some of my leftover snacks from last year. So yeah, it's coming.
Were they on discount at least for like half off?
No, they're not past their expiration date. They're still good.
I think I just figured out how we can afford a trainer at South Range.
Oh, we got him here already. Peak performance.
Selling snacks. Tell Donnie. I figured out his problem. Quincy.
Positive spark last night. Got to see Richie do a lot of interviews with Steve and talk to Coach Pav and a couple of the golfers from Canfield, and it was a great night. Got to hang out at a sponsor, Steve Coca's Pizza out in Canfield, and it was a great time. It was a great experience, and can't wait for next week.
Yeah, I mean, I could just go positive spark. I think right now everything seems to be going pretty well for me. So, like, you know, with YSN and with, you know, at home and Max Baseball, everything seems to be going smooth. So it's kind of like the calm before the storm. So I'm just gonna enjoy it and embrace just good vibes.
I love it, man. I love when good stuff happens to good people. You, my friend, deserve it.
Thank you.
Well past deserved. For me, a positive spark as well. Another team, you know, we were having some kind of clash or something. I'm not gonna let you know who it is. They're signed on, baby. Another year on YSN, so we're excited to bring that to you. So a full slate on Friday. Oh, what is it? 2019? What is it?
We're over 20, 25.
Yeah, and then this weekend we got 3, right?
Yep.
So a full slate of football here on the network. You can join me and Chris Sigler tonight for the East Liverpool and Beaver local game. I know Ty's going to be at Austin Town Fitch. Anthony's going to be in United against East Palestine for volleyball. So lots of stuff going on tonight and a ton of stuff going on tomorrow. And as always, you can go to ysnlive.com for all your needs, for all your wants, for all your updates. Make sure you head over to ysnlive.com. Now, here's going to be the kicker, boys. Can Brian find the flag to fly, the video flag that says close flag? Don't hit it yet. Just let me know when you got it, so that way I can bounce out of here. But beyond that, he's got it. So he's going to hang on to it for a second. Stick around, 5 o'clock. Steve's here right now. Steve is, holy cow. Steve was here at 3:30. We're ready to go, baby. Can't wait. Leslie's here. Thorne's here. Riccatelli's going to be here. Ackelson will be live via satellite. Join us. NFL. Whoa. YSN Primetime coming on 5 o'clock. We'll see you then. Wave the damn banner. NFL.